Let's be real for a second. If you're under 35 right now, you've been dealt a pretty unique financial hand. You were told to study hard, go to college, and the path would be clear. But for so many, that path led straight into a trap. You are facing student debt that feels like a mortgage, rent that eats half your paycheck, a job market where AI is suddenly a co-worker and a competitor, and this constant background noise of inflation where a grocery run feels like a luxury. It creates this exhausting cycle. You work to pay the bills go up, so you work more. Maybe you pick up a side hustle. You are running faster and faster just to stay in the same place. The traditional script, save a little cash, buy a house, retire at 65, feels like a fairy tale written for a different planet. And here's the quiet part no one says out loud. Every month that goes by where your money is just sitting, it's actually shrinking. Because of inflation, the cash in your savings account and the future paycheck it represents is slowly losing its power. It's paying a silent tax to a system that wasn't built for you. So you have two choices. You can keep running on that treadmill, hoping it slows down, or you can build a ladder to get off of it. And that ladder, it's investing. But not the old boring kind your grandparents talked about. This is about strategic ownership. It's about making your money work as hard as you do, 24/7, so that time, your greatest asset, finally starts working for you, not against you. The goal isn't to get rich quick. Let's ditch that fantasy. The goal is options. It's freedom. It's the power to say no to a toxic job, to take a risk on a career you love, to breathe easier when an unexpected bill hits, to imagine a future that isn't dictated by debt. That's what we're doing today. We're not just talking about the best investment for 2026. We're building your escape plan. We're decoding the four tectonic shifts in the global economy that will create huge opportunities and showing you exactly how to position your first or next dollars to ride that wave. This is your playbook for turning pressure into power. Let's get started. Today, I'm breaking down the four powerful themes set to dominate 2026 and the exact types of investments, from safe to aggressive, that let you build a resilient, future-proof portfolio. So grab a notebook. Let's build your 2026 blueprint. First, let's understand the playing field. The inflation storm that dictated everything for years, it's largely behind us. But in its place is a new challenge, the labor market. Companies are now openly using AI and automation for efficiency, which is corporate speak for managing costs, which can mean fewer jobs in some sectors. This creates a weird dynamic. The overall economy might still grow, but it won't feel the same for everyone. Winning won't come from putting chips on every table. It will come from sizing positions thoughtfully and focusing on high probability outcomes. This is why the most insightful advice I found was to stay invested, but get smarter about it. Panicking and moving to cash during downturns is how you miss the long-term wealth, building power of equities. Our goal today is to build a portfolio that can weather air pockets by generating durable income and focusing on long-term trends. So, what are those trends? Morgan Stanley's research team, whose thematic portfolios crushed the market in 2025, has identified four key pillars for 2026. Think of these as the four engines for growth. We're going to build a portfolio that has exposure to each. AI isn't just a 2023 story. It's the defining investment theme of our decade, but it's maturing. The narrative is shifting from pure hype to practical application and, critically, a cost revolution. Early winners were the enablers, the companies making the chips and building the infrastructure. That story continues, but the opportunity is broadening. The next wave of winners will be the adopters, companies in healthcare, finance, and industrial sectors using AI to become radically more productive and profitable. As one Vanguard economist put it, the long-term winners may be in areas that don't have the multiples that say the Magnificent Seven: Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, Amazon, Google, Meta, Tesla, all the technology stocks do. How to invest in this pillar? 1. For growth investors, look at small cap and mid cap stock funds. These smaller companies are often neglected but may be agile adopters of new tech. They are riskier but offer high growth potential. Also, consider thematic ETFs focused on AI adoption in specific sectors like healthcare or finance. 2. For a core holding, a dividend stock fund with a tech or broad market tilt can give you growth and income. The dividends provide cash flow that keeps working for you during volatile periods. 3. A word of caution. If you own a standard US index fund, know that you are already very tech heavy due to the weight of the Magnificent Seven. Your job in 2026 might be to add different kinds of tech and AI exposure, not just more of the same. This is directly tied to Pillar 1. All those data centers powering AI, they are causing a massive surge in energy demand. But this theme has evolved. It's no longer just about wind and solar. It's now a complex mix of powering AI, next generation nuclear, energy storage, and natural gas globalization. There's also a new political layer. As one Morgan Stanley analyst said, rising energy costs are becoming visible to consumers, elevating the politics of energy. This means policy will drive huge investment. How to invest in this pillar? 1. The simplest path. REIT, Real Estate Investment Trust, index funds that focus on infrastructure or specific energy sectors. Real estate investment trusts own things like data centers, cell towers, and even pipelines. They are required to pay out most of their income as dividends, making them a fantastic source of durable yield. 2. For stock pickers, look at companies across the entire energy chain. This isn't just oil giants, though they play a role, but leaders in grid technology, uranium for nuclear plants, and manufacturers of advanced batteries for storage. 3. Real-world example. Keep an eye on companies like BP, British Petroleum. They are in the middle of a major strategic shift and navigating a changing geopolitical energy landscape, which could create opportunities. This was the top performing team in 2025. The era of hyper-globalization is rewinding. Countries are now obsessed with national security, control of supply chains, and owning critical technologies. This creates a whole new set of winners and losers. Think about it. Companies that provide defense technology, those that mine critical minerals like lithium, copper, rare earths, and firms enabling tech localization, like semiconductor manufacturing outside of Asia, are at the heart of this theme. How to invest in this pillar? 1. The diversification play. This is a powerful argument for international investing. The US market is tech-heavy. Looking abroad can give you exposure to different leaders in defense, industrials, and materials. As one portfolio manager noted, owning international stocks is also a hedge against US dollar volatility. 2. Targeted exposure. Consider sector-specific ETFs, exchange-traded fund, for defense, aerospace, or materials mining. These let you bet on the theme without picking a single company. 3. The fixed income angle. This theme increases the importance of quality. In a world with more geopolitical risk, lending to companies and governments with strong balance sheets through corporate bond funds or treasury ETFs is a way to earn solid income while managing risk. This is about the slow, unstoppable forces changing our world: aging populations, the diabetes health crisis, and AI's impact on the job market. Demographics are destiny, and they create massive, predictable investment opportunities. An aging population needs more healthcare, different housing, and new financial products. The rise of obesity and diabetes fuels a massive market for drugs and wellness tech. This is a defensive growth sector. People need these things in good times and bad. How to invest in this pillar? 1. The obvious choice: healthcare and biotech funds. Look for funds that cover a broad spectrum: pharmaceutical giants, medical device makers, and healthcare service providers. This spreads your risk across the entire ecosystem. 2. A specific stock to watch. Novo Nordisk. It had a tough 2025, but is a leader in the weight loss drug GLP-1 revolution. Its 2026 results will be a major indicator of where this trend is headed. 3. Consumer staples. Companies like Unilever, which sells everyday essentials globally, are a play on rising middle-class incomes in emerging markets, another key societal shift. They may not be flashy, but they can provide stability and dividends. Okay, we have our 4 engines. Now, how do we actually build a portfolio? Let's talk about asset allocation, from the safest foundation to the growth-oriented peaks. Layer 1, the safety and income foundation, low risk. This is your peace of mind money. It's for emergency funds or cash you will need within 3 to 5 years. High yield savings accounts, your first stop for cash. Online banks offer the best rates. CD ladders and short-term treasury ETFs, for money you can lock up for a year or more. A CD ladder manages reinvestment risk. Short-term treasury ETFs are super liquid and pay monthly interest. In a higher for longer rate world, these are finally paying decent yields. Layer 2, the core growth and income engine, medium risk. This is the heart of your long-term wealth building. Dividend stock funds and medium-term corporate bond funds. This is the let income and time do the heavy lifting combo BlackRock talks about. The bonds provide steady yield. The dividend stocks give you growth potential and more income. Together, they generate the cash flow that compounds and stabilizes your portfolio. Layer 3, the thematic growth accelerators, higher risk. This is where you tilt your portfolio toward the 4 pillars we discussed. Small cap funds, thematic ETFs, AI, energy, healthcare, and international funds. Allocate a portion of your portfolio here based on your risk tolerance. This is where you capture the high growth potential of the key 2026 themes. 2 big topics we need to address. Cryptocurrency. It's a high-risk speculative asset class. For 2026, analysts see potential catalysts in continued institutional adoption and its evolving role as digital gold. Bitcoin and Ethereum are seen as the bellwethers, with potential from things like tokenized real-world assets. If you invest, treat it as a very small speculative portion of your portfolio. It's not a substitute for your core holdings. Real estate. After a tough period, the outlook for 2026 is improving. The National Association of Realtors forecast a 14% increase in home sales due to lower mortgage rates and more inventory. Affordability is slowly getting better. For investors, this doesn't mean you have to buy a rental property. REIT index funds, which we already mentioned, are the easiest way to get diversified exposure to this recovery. Look, the biggest mistake you can make in 2026 is chasing last year's winners or trying to time the market. The game has changed. The winning strategy is about durable diversification. Build a foundation of safety and income. Construct a core of reliable growth. Then make targeted bets on the powerful long-term themes that are reshaping our world. Be patient. Stay invested through the volatility. Let your dividends and interest reinvest. That's how you win in an investor's market. Key takeaways. 1. Diversify globally and across themes. 2. Focus on income and quality to weather volatility. 3. Broaden your AI exposure beyond mega-cap tech. 4. Use ETFs and funds for easy diversification into themes. 5. Stay invested for the long term. If this blueprint was helpful, smash that like button. It really helps the channel. What's the first investment you are re-evaluating for 2026? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for more actionable strategies to take control of your financial future. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.